Now, the city of Ekurhuleni continues to crack down on the abuse of vehicles by its employees. The latest incident took place last Friday when Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department confiscated a council-issued vehicle from an employee who was dropping their child off at school. For more on the abuse of these vehicles, we're joined by the EMPD spokesperson, Kelebogile Thepa. Thank you very much, Kelebogile, for your time here on eNCA. Well, luckily, at least with this particular member, you didn't find him doing anything but just dropping off their kids. Just tell me how prevalent this problem is in the EMPD.
Good afternoon to you in studio and to the viewers at home. It is quite prevalent to see members of the City of Ekurhuleni employees, rather, abusing or misusing what would be termed to be service delivery-related resources. And as such, the EMPD is mandated to ensure that, there's full compliance with policies set out. It is again worth noting to say that, policies which would be relevant to the EMPD under the vehicle policy, and again, those which would be generally for the city's employees being the fleet user, you see, where people would just then be misusing such resources, and then we are expected to act heavily on such.
I'm interested to know how you knew about the city's employee dropping off their child at school last week. Were EMPD officers alerted to try and find the car, perhaps?
That is correct. So we do have whistleblowers who do see our vehicles operating on various areas of the city, and of course amounting to them reporting on same. And us as the EMPD, we move swiftly to ensure that we crack down on all of this. And we further encourage and appreciate those who make use of the hotline and report such incidents.
Do you have any idea what happens when a city employee is found wanting by the EMPD? I know that your part is just to make sure that the municipality's assets are brought back to the council building or wherever they're supposed to be parked. But do you have any idea where the case leads to?
Normally it takes under the employee relations, where they make the necessary steps to initiate what would be disciplinary proceedings against such members. And of course, each case is taken on various merits. And as such, we as the executors of these policies ensure that we do not have any of our members, or rather the city's employees, abusing or rather misusing council facilities.
And of course, this is not only about the car or the petrol in the car. It's it's also about good governance and making sure that the money that is needed is actually going to the people who need it. Especially when you look at Ekurhuleni, where you've had so many protests with the EMPD having to step in because people are needing services.
Certainly. Our mandate is that of service delivery. So in the event that resources which are intended to deliver services to our people are then being operated or used by members on private capacity, also hindering that which would be service delivery, that cannot be tolerated at all. And as a department, we take a full stance on the misuse thereof.
Have you ever had any member of the EMPD perhaps saying that they tried to confiscate a vehicle from an employee at the city, and the city employee tried to somehow negotiate in that way that South Africans negotiate?
Unfortunately, yes, but because we are stern believers and also tasked to uphold the law and policies of the city, we ensure that none of that ever comes to pass. And also just to mention that it's not only restricted to the city employees, but including that which would be EMPD vehicles. I mean, having to operate a fully marked Metro Police vehicle and transporting a child to school. And, there's a lot of uncertainties that can happen, including that which would be, criminals returning from whatever and seeing a marked vehicle and wanting to act upon that. So the vicarious liabilities linked to that, we so wish that members can actually get what it takes and the risk associated with it.
Well, Kelebogile, thank you very much for your time and for speaking to us here on eNCA. EMPD spokesperson, that is the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department spokesperson, Kelebogile Thepa.